Hello. Welcome to this presentation on essential oil synergies, blending for your massage practice. I'm Ann Williams. I'm ABMP's Director of Education. I'm a licensed massage therapist, a spa therapist, a clinical hypnotherapist, an aromatherapist, an instructional designer, and a teacher trainer. Most of my work with ABMP is developing resources for students, schools, instructors, and some CE for our professional members. What most people don't know about me is that I'm passionate about aromatherapy, and I've used it in practice for over 20 years. I'm excited to share this topic with you today because I promised it to you a very long time ago. Back in 2013, I presented this webinar on aromatherapy for body, mind, and spirit. It's a general overview of aromatherapy for massage therapists. You can still view this webinar via the World Massage Conference Library or in the ABMP Online Education Center if you're an ABMP member. Remember, ABMP members, your CE is free. We have over 170 hours of CE in the Online Education Center for you for free. Anyway, you asked me to do more on aromatherapy, particularly on how to blend essential oils together, which is why I've prepared this presentation. Now, for the notes for this presentation, you'll have the PDF of my slides, but I'm also offering participants a special download. Open a new browser window and type in www.plantspiritlife.com. You'll enter your email and you'll receive a copy via email or move to the download page of this folio. This is a little booklet titled Primary Methods for Blending Essential Oils. I wrote this to cover some of the methods that we'll talk about today in depth, but lots of other methods that you're going to find really useful when you blend essential oils. So go get that download. If you haven't gotten it, it's free. Okay, you've got the handout. You have my slide notes. Let's go ahead and jump into essential oil synergies, blending for your massage practice. Rumi said, "There are 1,000 ways to kneel and kiss the ground. There are 1,000 ways to go home again." I like this quote because I approach aromatherapy in my own way. You may be a very experienced aromatherapist and you might think, wait a second, this isn't how I would do it. For me, there's absolutely no conflict in this. We're both right. I'll share my approach because it's what works for me and it's what I know. That doesn't mean that I think that what you're doing is wrong or that what you're doing might be wrong. We can each kneel and kiss the ground in our own way and hopefully hug a tree while we're at it. Today, we'll start with an overview of aromatherapy basics for any of you that might be beginners or new to aromatherapy. Next, we'll examine the physiological effects of essential oils and look particularly at the muscular, nervous, and immune systems. Then we'll formulate synergies by choosing essential oils and making sure we balance the aromas in our blends so that they smell pleasing to clients. In the last portion of this class, we'll talk about practical ways to make aromatherapy work in a massage practice. We'll formulate some blends that everyone will like, and we'll start to move our clients towards using aromatherapy as home care. All right, let's jump in to some aromatherapy basics. In this introductory segment, I'm going to define aromatherapy, talk about what essential oils are and what essential oils are not, provide a brief overview of carrier products we might use to dilute essential oils, and then I'm going to talk about how to get the right concentration of essential oil drops in a particular amount of carrier product. My definition of aromatherapy has evolved over the years as I focus more and more of my work with essential oils on life coaching and wellness support. I define aromatherapy as the art and science of using essential oils for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Aromatherapy is effective because essential oils produce physiological effects that promote physical wellness. Essential oils are composed of chemicals that exert an influence on body tissues, body organs, and body systems. These chemical constituents can improve our physical health and our sense of well-being. Essential oils also influence brain chemistry, brain regions, the nervous system, and biorhythms, promoting mental and emotional wellness. Aromatherapy can be used to affirm our strengths, affirm our positive behaviors, and by supporting us as we reflect on the truth, break bad habits, adopt new behaviors, and confront obstacles. I think that one of the most exciting things about aromatherapy is its influence on spiritual wellness. All right, so the practice of aromatherapy relies to a great degree on the application and inhalation of essential oils. Essential oils are natural, chemically complex liquid extracts that come from aromatic plants with specialized structures. You'll notice that the words specialized structures are bold. I want to make sure that you recognize that specialized structures are important. Aromatic plants with specialized structures are plants that can produce essential oil because they store aromatic or smelly compounds in glands, sacs, trichomes, and hairs. On this slide, you're seeing microscopic images of leaves, stems, roots, flowers, and other plant parts. The little bubbles you see are the structures containing essential oils. Because aromatic plants store essential oils in these specialized structures, we can extract them. This image shows steam distillation. The heat of the steam in the still bursts the essential oil storage sites, and the essential oils evaporate with the steam. The steam and the essential oils are passed through a cold water condenser. When they cool, the essential oil floats to the top of the water and is drained off. Most essential oils are lighter than water. Not all, but most, so they float to the top of the water. You can imagine that this method of extraction wouldn't work if the plant didn't have specialized storage sites that would burst with the heat of the steam. However, steam distillation is just one of a number of different methods used to extract aromatic oils from plants. Steam distillation produces an essential oil. Solvent extraction produces an absolute. CO2 extraction refers to hypercritical CO2 production. It produces what we refer to as a CO2 oil. Cold pressure produces an essence, and there are numerous variations that produce other products. Technically, each of these products is a little bit different, but for our purposes today, I'm usually just going to call them essential oils because it makes it easier and it makes sure that there's not confusion. Oftentimes, plants have good smells, but they store their aromatic compounds throughout the plant, not in specialized structures, so we can't extract them. If you see essential oil of banana, blackberry essence, cucumber oil, pineapple oil, cherry oil, you know you are dealing with a synthetic. Synthetics are human-made chemicals or combinations of chemicals made in a lab to mimic the aroma of plants. For example, fructone is a synthetic that mimics the aroma of apples. There is no such thing as apple essential oil. Synthetics are not natural, and the human body does not respond well to their chemistry. Research demonstrates that synthetic fragrance chemicals are associated with allergies, skin irritation, respiratory distress, headaches, sore throat, and emotional irritation. They may also disrupt male and female hormones, leading to reduced sex drive and chronic feelings of lethargy and fatigue. Synthetics are not eliminated from the body effectively and may build up in adipose tissue. This picture is a perfect example of what I hate about synthetics. There is no essential oil that's pink or lavender colored or orange or bright green like the green of grass. A few essential oils produce an inky blue color, but it's rare. This picture may look pretty, just like the flashy marketing of some fake aromatherapy companies that are out there on the internet. But there is nothing pretty about synthetics. They are bad for you, and aromatherapists who know their stuff know to avoid them. I rely on these essential oil suppliers because I've sent their essential oils out for independent chemical analysis, and none of the results that I obtained indicated the inclusion of synthetic chemicals. I do not recommend any other suppliers. These suppliers are included in the notes pages, so you don't need to write them down. Let's discuss carriers because we'll need them to create aromatherapy formulations. Carriers, some people call them vehicles, are the products used to dilute essential oils and carry them to the body. Very rarely are essential oils applied undiluted onto the skin. Usually we're diluting them first in a carrier product. All of these things might serve as carrier products. Fixed oils from vegetables, nuts, and seeds, aloe vera gel, plain lotions or creams without mineral oil, synthetic dyes, fragrance, or lanolin, water or witch hazel or a combination of these, natural products like clay, oatmeal, or milk, and high-proof grain alcohol like vodka or perfumer's alcohol. Fixed oils is a phrase that refers to a non-volatile oil, usually of plant origin. Examples include sunflower oil, olive oil, apricot kernel oil, avocado oil, hemp seed oil, almond oil, and many others. You can find a wide variety of great fixed oils at the health food store. You want to choose oils that are organic, cold, or expeller pressed. You don't want heat treated oils if you can avoid them. They're not as good for the skin, and they also feel pretty weird when you use them as a massage lubricant. My general all-purpose favorite is organic expeller pressed sunflower oil because it's lightweight and naturally odor-free. Plain lotion, creams, or gels like aloe vera gel make good carriers for essential oils. Read the label. No mineral oil, no lanolin, petroleum, dye, or fragrance. The aromatherapy suppliers that I described previously have ready-to-use creams, lotions, and gels that are suitable if you can't find a good product at your health food store. Aroma mists are fun and easy to make, and people love them as gifts. They're composed of essential oils, distilled water, or combinations of distilled water and a little bit of grain alcohol or a little bit of witch hazel. Grain alcohol and witch hazel give your mist a little bit of sparkle. We'll make an aroma mist later in the presentation. Finally, we want to understand something about the concentration of essential oils in carrier products. Let's look at this table for a moment. You have a version of this as one of the slides in the downloadable handout. Down the left of this table, you see the amount of carrier product. It doesn't matter what the carrier is. It can be water, cream, gel, a fixed oil, clay, grain alcohol, or even a combination of carriers. So don't get hung up. A carrier is a carrier is a carrier. Then you'll see EO concentration 1 up to 4, and the number of drops for the carrier amount. Obviously, EO means essential oil. These drops represent the total amount of essential oil present in a formulation. So if your essential oil synergy contains geranium, rose, lavender, and frankincense, you're placing 12 drops total for a 2% concentration in 1 ounce of carrier. So you're not placing 12 of frankincense, 12 of geranium, 12 of rose, 12 of lavender. It's 12 drops of your total finished blend in your carrier product. So you really want to pay attention to 1 ounce and 12 to 18 drops, because 1 ounce of carrier is just about the perfect amount for a full body massage. So you'll use 1 ounce bottles and 1 ounce carriers quite a bit as a massage therapist. You usually end up with just a bit that you can send home to your client. So the point that I really want you to take on board right now is you want to add between 12 to 18 total drops of a single essential oil or a combination of essential oils to a carrier product for a 2% or 3% concentration of essential oils. In this image, the therapist is adding essential oils directly to the carrier product. She might add 5 drops of this one, 3 drops of that one, but she won't add more than 18 drops total. I usually make my essential oil combinations in a clean 5 milliliter bottle. That's like the smaller size bottle that you're seeing in this image. I label my new combination and then add my 12 to 24 drops of the combination to a carrier. The reason I do this is that it makes the aromatherapy math easier. You might notice later I'm not so great at math. You'll also want to remember that concentration is different from dosage. You're not trying to work out how many gallons of water are in my tub to get the right concentration for an aromatherapy bath. You know that you'll use somewhere between 6 to 9 drops of essential oil in a tub of water, or 4 to 6 drops of essential oil in a shower. You'll add just 1 drop of a respiratory oil to a bowl of steaming water for nasal congestion, and 2 to 4 drops in a foot bath or foot soak. These are dosages based on the method of application. They are different from concentration. Well done. We have covered the basics. Good for us. Now let's go ahead and we'll move on to talk about the physiological effects of essential oils. In this section, I'll define the term physiological effect, and then we'll look at key physiological effects for the muscular, nervous, and immune systems. We'll also talk briefly about physiological effects of essential oils and their psychological counterparts, because psychological and physiological effects are usually happening side by side. A physiological effect is an outcome experienced in body cells, tissues, organs, or systems as the result of an action. When we apply essential oils to the body, that's the action, the body responds usually in a predictable way. That's the outcome. Essential oils have pharmacological, and that means drug-like properties that are derived from their chemical makeup. Now, I want to be clear, essential oils do not act on the body like drugs, but they do have some drug-like properties. We don't have time to go into the differences between them, but I don't want you to think that when you're doing essential oils, it's the same as doing a prescription drug. It's not. Different chemicals, though, in essential oils produce the physiological effects that we experience in our bodies. For example, geraniol is a chemical from a family of chemicals that are called aldehydes. Geraniol has antiseptic, antiviral, anti-inflammatory, and neurosedative properties. You find geraniol in a number of different essential oils, among them lemongrass and geranium. Linosyl acetate is from a family of chemicals called esters. Esters are well known for their antispasmodic properties. High levels of esters are found in clary sage, lavender, and Roman chamomile. 1,8-cineol is the famous and highly researched oxide that has powerful effects for the respiratory system. It's also a really good chemical for the muscular system. When you smell eucalyptus essential oil, that's what you're smelling. You're smelling the aroma of 1,8-cineol. It also occurs in essential oils like bay laurel and rosemary. Researchers have identified more than 3,000 different molecules in essential oils that produce physiological effects. In fact, essential oils demonstrate physiological effects on every body system, every single body system. That is crazy. For example, essential oils with digestive stimulating properties support digestive processes, helping to relieve symptoms like abdominal cramps, gas and bloating, or constipation. Expectorants, or essential oils with expectorant properties, are excellent for the respiratory system. Expectorants thin mucus and congestion, making it easier to expel excess mucus from the system when it's necessary. The pharmacological properties of essential oils are expressed using words that people refer to with a number of terms. So you might see or hear these terms: physiological effect, therapeutic action, property, and there are more. You'll find these words are listed on essential oil plant profiles in most aromatherapy textbooks. These words help you determine which essential oils you'll choose for a physiological synergy. Let's take a look at the physiological effects of essential oils relevant to the muscular system. First of all, analgesics. These are agents that reduce sensations of pain. Anesthetics, an agent that causes numbing. Anti-inflammatory, an agent that reduces inflammation or inhibits the inflammatory response. Antispasmodic, an agent that reduces skeletal muscle spasms. Muscle stimulant, an agent that stimulates muscle tissue, leading to increased tone. Rubefacient, an agent that stimulates blood circulation to the skin, causing increased local circulation. Now, what you're going to notice is that I have an asterisk here by some of these properties. What I want to note is that I'm sharing physiological effects for the muscular system. However, most of these effects don't act directly on muscle tissue. Most influence muscle tissue via other systems. Analgesics, anesthetics, and antispasmodics, for example, influence muscle through the nervous system. Anti-inflammatories influence soft tissue structures through the circulatory and immune systems. All right, let's talk about the physiological effects of essential oils for the nervous system. Wow, there are lots of them. In fact, I don't even have every nervous system effect defined here. The reason that essential oils have so many effects for the nervous system is that aromas stimulate the region of the brain known as the limbic system through olfaction, the sense of smell. You all remember the limbic system, right? From anatomy and physiology days. That's the mammalian brain, the oldest part of our brain, the part of our brain that's really interested in the emotional aspect of survival. All right, let's look a little bit more at some of these different physiological effects, but we'll group them to help us understand them. We all know as massage therapists that pain is caused by something on a nerve or by a nerve that's become injured or irritated for some reason. Things that might be on a nerve include a tight muscle, increased fluid due to inflammation, a bone that's slightly out of place, or something like a tumor that shouldn't be there. Analgesics, anesthetics, and antineuralgics reduce sensations of pain by slowing the travel of pain signals to the brain. Nervines strengthen and tone nerves. They help nerves recover from situations that have irritated them. Antineuralgic and nervine effects are important to our work because essential oils with these effects are useful for conditions like neuralgia, thoracic outlet syndrome, carpal tunnel syndrome, sciatic pain, or any condition where a nerve in the area has become irritated or painful. Neurosedatives sedate the nervous system when we feel amped up, on edge, restless, or stressed out, like this guy, while neurostimulants provide a boost of energy when we feel lethargic or have brain fog and can't concentrate. In our tired, wired world, alternatives help us bring the nervous system back into balance so that we feel less prone to swings between states of exhaustion and stress and exhaustion and stress. Anytime you're dealing with high levels of chronic stress, antispasmodics become important. Antispasmodics take down muscle spasm in smooth muscle like the intestinal tract and also in skeletal muscle to some degree. In the nervous system, antispasmodics reduce the chronic overactivation of the sympathetic nervous system, helping the body break chronic cycles of stress. Antispasmodic help us recover from stressful events or long periods where we've been exposed to high stress. High stress, I think is what I was trying to say. We'll be coming back to these effects when we make essential oil synergies for our massage practice. For now, let's move on to the physiological effects of the lymph and immune system. Essential oils with physiological effects for the lymph and immune system act as antibacterials. These are agents that destroy bacterial pathogens or suppress their growth or their ability to reproduce. Antifungals. These are agents that destroy fungal pathogens or suppress their growth or their ability to reproduce. Antivirals. Agents that destroy viral pathogens or suppress their growth or ability to reproduce. Immune stimulants, agents that boost general immunity to enhance the immune response or strengthen the body to help it fight off disease. Finally, lymph stimulant, an agent that encourages lymph to flow from areas of stagnation to support general immunity and the health of the body. Many essential oils enter the bloodstream of the human body and support the body's natural immune defenses by killing harmful pathogens or disrupting their life cycle so that pathogens have difficulty reproducing and overwhelming the body. Some essential oils stimulate the proliferation of white blood cells to boost natural immunity. Immune boosting essential oils are a real plus in a massage practice because they reduce the chance that clients spread diseases between each other and to us, their therapists. Before we move on, let's talk briefly about the psychological effects of essential oils because they're occurring right alongside physiological effects. The psychological effects of essential oils refer to their influence on thinking, feeling, and behaving states. Psychology, as you probably already know, is the scientific and artistic study of the human mind, emotions, and behaviors. Aromas can have a strong influence on thinking, feeling, and behaving. On some level, conscious or subconscious, they impact the outcomes we experience in our massage practices when we're using aromatherapy in a session. The psychological effects of essential oils are produced because of the physiological effects of essential oils on the nervous system, because some essential oils influence brain chemistry or hormones, because some essential oils influence brainwave activity, and because of learned odor responses. A learned odor response is when you pair an aroma with a person, place, or thing, and this usually happens very quickly with as little as one pairing. So we can use learned odor responses to help us create natural resource states. Unfortunately, we don't have time to do a deep dive into this topic, so I'm going to provide you with one important example. Let's talk about the fact that some essential oils influence brain chemicals or hormones that influence thinking, feeling, and behaving states. In the limited research that's been conducted on essential oils so far, scientists have identified essential oils that are cortisol balancers, dopamine stimulants, balancers, estrogenics, oxytocin stimulants, and serotonin stimulants. I think that's pretty amazing. Let's just talk for a second about dopamine balancers. A dopamine balancer is an agent that balances levels of dopamine in the body. You already know that dopamine is a neurotransmitter with many functions in the brain. It's related to the brain's reward system, where behaviors associated with biological advantages bring us a sense of gratification. Dopamine is why heroin and sugar are addictive. These substances, along with others, cause a rush of dopamine in the brain, and that makes us feel really good right up until the rush is over. So when we're trying to reduce the sugar in our bodies or sugar in our diets, dopamine balancers can help us break the ongoing crave binge cycle. Dopamine plays a role in motor activity, mood, and sensations of well-being. It plays a role in sleep patterns, allocation of attention, and learning. Too little dopamine can cause a decline in cognitive functions like memory, attention, and problem solving. Stimulating dopamine when it's low or balancing dopamine levels when they're uneven has a positive effect on conditions like anxiety, depression, eating disorders, and ADHD, among others. The point for our discussion today is that physiological effects are happening right along with psychological effects when you use aromatherapy in your massage practices. Whether you know it or not, whether your client knows it or not, we are helping people to make positive changes towards more relaxed resource states just by bringing aromatherapy into our practice. Well done. We've done it. We've looked at the physiological effects of essential oils. We've talked about what are physiological effects. I've provided examples for the muscular, nervous, and lymph and immune system. And we've also talked about the fact that psychological effects are happening right along with physiological effects at all times. Let's talk now about synergies and how we create them. In this section, I'll define the term synergy. We'll talk about modes of action and how to broaden the therapeutic potential of our formulations. We'll also discuss how therapeutic intent in the blending process affects our blends and how we can avoid muddy blends. Synergies are created when two or more essential oils are combined for a therapeutic purpose. A synergy is when the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and those parts are mutually enhancing. I like the analogy of chicken noodle soup. Chicken, carrots, celery, and pasta are good on their own, but when you combine them together and you add some salt and pepper, they're delicious. This is a perfect metaphor for synergy. Complementary interactions between the chemical compounds in different essential oils expand the therapeutic range and scope of a formulation. By mixing oils together, you create a greater spectrum of action, of therapeutic action, than would be possible using a single oil alone. Every essential oil brings something unique to a formulation. Even when essential oils have the same physiological effects, they seem to produce those effects through unique modes of action. In other words, each essential oil approaches a given situation differently, and these differences expand the scope of therapeutic benefit attainable through a synergy. For example, if you inspect your feet one morning and find you have athlete's foot, you might reach for one essential oil or three essential oils that list antifungal as a property. So why not just reach for one essential oil with antifungal as a property? Well, you don't really know what the fungus is. You don't know what its species is. In fact, there are three, sometimes four, depending on where you live, fungal pathogens that it might be. If you use just one essential oil, it might not work because it's not effective for that particular fungal pathogen, the one that's infecting your feet. If you use three different essential oils that are antifungal, you'll broaden the scope of therapeutic potential and increase the likelihood that you'll get a good result. Each essential oil will have a slightly different mode of action, and this makes it more likely that your blend will be effective. For example, Oil A. Oil A reduces itching while disrupting the life cycle of fungal pathogens. It creates an environment where it's difficult for fungal pathogens to survive. Oil B is different. It reduces inflammation and it kills two unique forms of fungal pathogen outright. Oil C is also different. It kills different forms of fungal pathogen outright, and it also promotes skin healing. What you're going to notice is that your combination works better and faster than one essential oil acting alone. When creating therapeutic synergies, practitioners often choose essential oils with different but complementary physiological effects. Here's an example. Let's say you want to create a synergy to reduce the habitual sympathetic nervous system reactions related to chronic stress. You might first choose fir oil for its alterative action, which helps the body to regain balance function. Sweet marjorum's a good choice because it's got neurosedative qualities, which reduce the reactivity of the nervous system. Finally, lavender might be added as a restorative that helps the body recover from exhaustion. These three essential oils together will have a broader action on stress than fir oil acting on its own. In another example, you might make a synergy to address acute muscular low back pain from a weekend overdoing it with house projects. You might choose heliochrysum for its powerful anti-inflammatory action. Clary sage for its high levels of esters because esters are antispasmodic and they'll help you reduce the painful muscle guarding that usually accompanies overworked muscles. Finally, you're going to choose eucalyptus for its analgesic pain-killing properties. Your synergy is composed of essential oils that have different physiological effects, so they're addressing the problem from different directions but complementary directions. Great. You understand that a synergy is when the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and that those parts should be mutually enhancing. But there are some other factors we want to consider when we create synergies. Therapeutic intent. As healthcare professionals, you know all about therapeutic intent. We know that we stay focused on benefiting a client throughout a massage, and as a result, we get better results. The same is true when you create synergies with essential oils. Good aromatherapists hold therapeutic intent when they create a formulation. They know exactly how they want the synergy to act therapeutically, and they choose essential oils with clear therapeutic goals in mind. They keep their synergies focused. They don't try to do too many things with a blend. They consider the person they're blending for, the method of application, and the overall therapeutic goals of a session. Without this clear focus, a synergy can quickly turn muddy. Muddy means that the therapeutic intent of the synergy is unclear. I've had many aromatherapy students share a blend of oils with me. One who comes instantly to mind is Carrie because of his complete enthusiasm for aromatherapy. Carrie offers up his blend and lists off its component oils. I nod my head. This blend smells lovely. Carrie has a truly gifted nose. Then I ask what it's for. And Carrie rolls into what it's for. Muscle tension, stress, insomnia, earache, headaches, nightmares, athlete's foot, oily skin, depression, upset stomach. Oh, yeah. And you can use it to get dirt out of tile grout. Okay, Carrie, take a step down. Probably Carrie's blend does have chemical components that affect the different conditions that he's described, but without his clear determination of how the blend is meant to be used, its potential is scattered and lost. He's going for way too much stuff, way too many therapeutic actions. If Carrie just focused in on insomnia, he's much more likely to choose oils that will work well together for insomnia. I often see students do this. They think that a blend should be magic and a cure-all and it should address everything. The fact of the matter is, keep your blend focused. Olga offers up her blend for inspection and she tells me, this doesn't smell like anything. It's true. The blend smells flat and featureless. So I ask her what's in it, and she pulls out her list and she reads the 11 oils that she's combined. They're all good for stress, she tells me. Olga has the right idea. She's choosing oils with a clear focus, but what she's created is overkill. I'm not sure why this happens, but if you blend too many essential oils together, the aroma goes flat, and the therapeutic potential of the blend seems to go flat as well. Therapeutic essential oil synergies smell best and work best when they're composed of between 2 and 6 essential oils. If you use more than 6 essential oils, the results start to get muddy and the aroma starts to go flat. Now, experienced aromatherapists can and do add more than 6 oils to a blend, but they tend to really know their chemistry and they know how to reconcile their chemistry, or they've learned what works through trial and error. All right, look, we've made it through another section. We have talked about what are synergies, what is a mode of action, and how do we broaden the therapeutic potential of our blends. We've talked about therapeutic intent in the blending process and about how to avoid muddy blends. Well done. I'm going to take a brief sip of water and then we'll move on to the next section. Whew. All right, let's talk about balancing aromas in a synergy. In this section, we're going to compare and contrast balanced aromas and unbalanced aromas. We'll talk about how to get balanced aromas in our synergies, and we'll talk about times when balance really isn't all that important. In a synergy with a balanced aroma, all of the different smells of essential oils in the formulation can be enjoyed without one overpowering the others. Well-made natural perfumes have this quality. When you smell them, it's difficult to tell what's in their composition, and yet the scent is pleasant, intriguing, warm, round, and really gets your curiosity going. What is in this? This smells awesome. In a synergy with an unbalanced aroma, a dominant smell from one essential oil overrides the smells of other essential oils in the formulation. So look at this. Place equal amounts of lavender and German chamomile essential oil in a glass bottle. You should smell what these two different essential oils smell like when they're combined, right? Wrong. All you smell is German chamomile because its aroma is very intense. Lavender's aroma is almost completely lost. Okay, let's try again. Let's keep the 5 drops of lavender, but this time let's combine it with 5 drops of Atlas cedar. Will it smell balanced? Nope. This time, lavender sticks out because Atlas cedarwood has a soft aroma. But don't despair, there is a method for balancing aromas in a blend. We're about to create synergies that are beautifully balanced. Now I want to introduce you to this word, aroma intensity. It refers to the strength of the aroma of a particular essential oil. Some essential oils smell strong, while other essential oils smell very soft. Aromatherapist Jade Schutz, who first introduced me to this blending method, places aromas on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 indicating high aroma intensity, a very strong aroma, and 10 indicating low aroma intensity, a very soft aroma. Now, you might be thinking, why isn't the very strong aroma a 10? 10 is a bigger, stronger number. Well, the reason is this. Aroma intensity correlates to how many drops of an essential oil will end up in the final synergy. Stronger aromas require fewer drops of essential oil in the final synergy, while softer aromas need more drops in the final synergy for you to be able to smell it and to achieve a balanced aroma. The aroma intensity numbers are used to determine the ratio of drops for each essential oil added to a blend. For example, lavender essential oil is 5 on the intensity scale, while nutmeg is 4 on the intensity scale, and sweet orange is 8 on the intensity scale. Now hold on to those numbers because you're going to see them appear next. So now, if you add 5 drops of lavender, 5 drops of nutmeg, and 5 drops of sweet orange, you already recognize that you're probably going to smell too much nutmeg. For a synergy with a balanced aroma, you'll combine essential oils based on their aroma intensity scores. So 5 drops of lavender balance 4 drops of nutmeg balance 8 drops of sweet orange. If you need more of your synergy, you would simply double or triple the formulation. For example, now you're going to double it, and you're going to blend 10 drops of lavender. Double it, blend 8 drops of nutmeg. Double it, blend 16 drops of sweet orange to maintain that balanced aroma. We're going to do more of this in just a little bit, so don't get stressed out if you feel like, oh, I don't get it. So in this download that I provided you, remember you have to go to plantspiritlife.com. Don't do it in this browser window. You'll need to open it in a new browser window. Otherwise, you'll be disconnected from this presentation. But what you have there is a very long table, and it lists the intensity scores for a whole bunch of oils, even oils that you'll probably never work with because they're perfume oils, unless you really get into natural perfumery. So it also provides the details for how to work with very intense aromas, which we're not going to cover right now. And working with very intense aromas can sometimes be really tricky. So if you haven't downloaded this document yet, you're going to want to open that new browser window and get it, because you're really going to want this table. This table makes everything else make sense, and there's nowhere else where you get it. You don't get it in my notes from just the PowerPoint slides. All right, now I want to point out a couple of things about aroma intensity. First, the intensities of aromas tend to change batch to batch. So there are lots of different factors that play a role in what the chemicals are in the batch of thyme oil that you get tomorrow. And there's the growing region, the conditions while the plant was growing, how it was harvested, whether or not it was dried or stored, transportation, the art of the distiller. All of these different things play a role in the aroma intensity exhibited by the oil. So when we're dealing with aroma intensity, we know that we're probably adjusting things in the moment. So maybe my thyme is not very strong this time around, no pun intended. Maybe it's a little softer, and maybe that means I need less of it this time around and more of the very light batch of cypress that I have. So know that you kind of start with the intensity numbers, and then you're going to smell your blend, give it a little bit of space to kind of come together, clear your palate, smell it again, and you're going to think, really need a little bit more linden blossom. You're going to go ahead and add that extra drop of linden blossom, even though it's going to pull you away from that base formulation. Second, one of the reasons why aroma intensity scores are shifty is that different aromatherapists demonstrate discrepancies in the scores that they assign different essential oils, especially in the very intense category. This is obviously because our noses are different. I know, for example, I'm highly attuned to the aroma of a geranium. If there's even the smallest amount of geranium in a blend, I smell it right away. I pick it right up. Other aromatherapists might not be so highly attuned to the aroma of geranium. I scored a 1, but others I've seen have scored it a 2 or even a 3. As you gain experience with this blending method, you'll be able to move things around to better suit your own nose. What I would do is write in your own scores next to those I've provided in the download. As you gain experience with this method, those numbers that you're adding are going to prove really useful to you. The other thing you're going to find is that over time, you'll internalize the intensity score. I don't need to look at my table very often anymore. I just smell it. You'll smell something new and you're going to know instantly where it fits on the scale. You're going to say, oh, this is new. This is allspice. I haven't really worked with this essential oil before. And when I smell it, I'm thinking it's a 3 or a 4. I'm going to err on the side of caution, call it a 3 until I know better. Always err on the side of caution. Less is more until you know better. As we talked about at the beginning of this section, we know that sometimes a balanced aroma in a synergy is not really all that important. This synergy is for carpal tunnel. The blue color of the formulation comes from German chamomile. German chamomile turns an inky blue color during the distillation process. Now this one's turning just a little bit green, and when German chamomile starts to turn a little green, you know that it's starting to oxidize and get a little bit old, which is unfortunate because it's expensive. Heliochrysum, German chamomile, and blue cypress here are excellent anti-inflammatories. They're also naturally analgesic and nervine. In this synergy, I don't need the oils to smell pretty or balanced. I just want them to work. So I've blended them in equal proportions. So what that means is all I'm really smelling is German chamomile and maybe a touch of helichrysum. Blue cypress almost completely lost in terms of aroma. However, I want to point out that doesn't mean that blue cypress has lost its therapeutic potential. Aroma intensity has absolutely nothing to do with therapeutic intensity or therapeutic potential. An essential oil can have a soft aroma and still have a very powerful therapeutic effect. Whew, look at us. We have talked about balancing aromas, and our aromas are balanced unless we don't care. All right, we're ready to move on. So we are moving into the last section of this webinar today, which is making aromatherapy work in a massage practice. Let's talk about how we're going to do that. In this section, we're going to make some general wellness synergies for our massage practice that we can use as massage lubricants in an aromatherapy upsold massage. We'll figure out how much aromatherapy might cost us, and we'll also make some synergies that clients can use at home to help us hook them on real aromatherapy. Now, if I have done my job correctly today, you're starting to feel really excited about aromatherapy. You're thinking to yourself, what's the best way for me to add aromatherapy to my massage practice? My recommendations for MTs that are new to aromatherapy and just getting started with aromatherapy is to add some aromatherapy to their practices in this way. Formulate 4 different wellness synergies and make them available for a $12 to $15 upsell. These synergies must be physiologically active, address client needs, boast pleasing aromas, and be cost effective to produce. Those are our parameters. So the first thing I have to do is I have to ask myself, what do my clients want and need? What do my clients tell me that they want and need? Well, in my practice, my clients want to relax. My clients want to experience better health so that they don't get sick. My clients want to reduce their muscle soreness and muscle tension. And my clients want to be happy, and so do I. So I'm going to formulate aromatherapy synergies that help me meet these client needs. I'm going to make one blend that's calming and supportive. It's going to help me produce deep relaxation during a massage. We're going to call that blend Stress Buster. I'm going to make another to help the body ward off disease during the cold and flu season. I'm going to call that one Immune Booster. The third should address sore, stiff muscles and chronic muscle tension. Welcome Muscle Tonic. And finally, the fourth is going to be antidepressant and emotionally equalizing. Yes, happy magic. Great. Now that I know what I want to make, I have to go out and make it. So the first thing I want to think about is what carrier should I use and how much of this product should I formulate? I know that clients like oil as a lubricant sometimes, but more often clients prefer an emollient lotion. So I'm going to make each blend with these 2 different carriers to provide my clients with choices. I also know it takes about 1 ounce of fixed oil, like an expeller pressed sunflower oil, to provide a full body massage to a larger client. Obviously, if the client's smaller, it takes less. But just for the purpose of being able to speculate, I'm going to assume that my 8 ounces of blend will provide me with enough lubricant to give between 10 to 12 aromatherapy massages. Alternatively, I know that it takes more emollient lotion for a full body massage of a larger client. Lotions just don't go as far as oil. So I'm going to assume that my 8 ounces of emollient lotion will provide me with enough lubricant to give 5 to 7 aromatherapy massages. Next, we're going to need to choose essential oils for our synergies. Don't get stressed out. You're going to go to your slides or you're going to go to the download. You're going to review the physiological effects of essential oils for the nervous system, for the muscular system, and for the immune system. Notice that in your handouts, I've included essential oils for each of these physiological effects, the ones that we discussed earlier for these systems. So let's do this together as you get started. We're going to start with picking essential oils for Stress Buster. We'll be looking at oils that have effects for the nervous system. First, let's choose, oops, where did my computer go? Let's choose a powerful antispasmodic to calm an overactive sympathetic nervous system. I'm going with Clary Sage. It's high in esters and I also love the aroma. Let's also choose a neurosedative to sedate the central nervous system and help the client relax completely. Amyris is kind of a little bit of a different choice. It's from the wood of a small tree native to Haiti. This essential oil smells a lot like sandalwood, not exactly like sandalwood. It has its own unique smell, but it's less expensive and more sustainably harvested. It's really underutilized, but it's one of my favorites. Spiritually, amorous means a torch held in the darkness. It's about lighting the way when we're feeling low or when we've come up across misfortune. So amorous is a nice one to add just for its spiritual meanings as well. Next, let's add a restorative to strengthen the body to enhance overall physical vitality and a sense of wellness. Lavender is the great classic for this. I also want a euphoric to promote positive feelings of expansion, connection, and consciousness. Nutmeg will add a spicy, deep, warm bottom to this formulation. Whew, great, we did it. I've chosen essential oils for Stress Buster. Let's go on and choose some essential oils for Immune Booster. Here we are looking at Immune Booster. And if we want it to be for the immune system or to boost immunity, obviously we're looking at essential oils that are good for the lymph and immune system. I'm going to choose, first of all, an antibacterial and an antiviral. That's going to give me a broad range of pathogen killing power. I want to go with thyme and sweet marjoram. Now, the linalool type of thyme is milder and gentler than normal thyme, so it helps us to make sure that our blends won't cause any skin irritation. I like the smell of the linalool type thyme better too, so check that out when you're buying essential oils, purchasing essential oils. Next, I want an immune stimulant to boost general immunity and enhance immune responses to help the body ward off disease. I love lemon, so let's use lemon. I also want a cytophylactic to stimulate the activity of white blood cells. Tea tree is a classic for this. And last but not least, I'm adding some bergamot because bergamot is specific to strep throat. I hate strep throat. I once picked up strep throat from a client. That's not going to happen to me again. So we have now picked our essential oils for immune booster. Yay, us! Let's move on to muscle tonic. Now, I want to do muscle tonic a little bit differently because I want to make sure that you're thinking about how you're going to approach this when you're on your own and you don't have me talking here into this microphone. So look these over, and I want you to pick 4 physiological effects that feel like they'd be right for you in your muscle tonic blend. You can pick one more than once if you want to. You can have 2 analgesics, for example. Okay, I'm going to be quiet for just a moment while you do that and get myself a sip of water. Great. Now, I'm assuming that you might have done something different than me, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong. Anything probably would work. So what I would go with is I would probably first pick an analgesic, something to take down pain, and I'm going with bay laurel. Now, bay laurel smells similarly in some ways. I shouldn't really say that. It really doesn't smell similarly to eucalyptus. They both contain 1,8-cineol, and 1,8-cineol is fantastic for both the respiratory system and the muscular system. But bay laurel has a little bit more of a lighter lemony smell to it, so I like it better. Unfortunately, it's also more expensive. So whenever I choose it over eucalyptus, I'm paying through the nose for it. I also want an anti-inflammatory. And for me, I love the smell of turmeric, but to be completely honest, I haven't worked with turmeric a lot. So this will give me a chance to play around a little bit with turmeric and see how it plays with other essential oils. I'm going with bergamot again, but this time for its antispasmodic action. And because I think when I smell it next to the turmeric, I like the way the two smell together. So finally, I'm going to go with cypress, which is a muscle stimulant. It's toning for the muscular system, and it also has analgesic properties. Now, you'll notice I didn't choose a rubefacient, and I'm guessing a lot of you did choose rubefacient. Now, You can use rubifacients in your muscle tonic blend, but just use them in very low concentrations because many tend to be skin irritants. So if you want to use a blend for a variety of clients, some of those clients are going to end up having thin skin. You want to think about what's going to be a gentle option, but still get the work done. All right. Finally, we are moving on to Happy Magic and our blend for Happy Magic. Remember, we want essential oils for this blend that are antidepressant, uplifting, expanding, and that also smell lovely. So this time, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to use my Happy Magic formula. We're going to use one essential oil that's been expressed from citrus peels or zest. These tend to be nervine. They also tend to be uplifting. So when we're talking about citrus, we're talking about bergamot, lime, grapefruit, lemon, mandarin, all those wonderful citrusy smells. So one citrus. Then we are going to choose any flower. Essential oils distilled from flowers tend to be antidepressant. They tend to be serotonin stimulants, so they're always a good choice if you want something that's emotionally balancing. Choose any flower. Finally, we're going to pick an essential oil that's been distilled from the wood or from the tree resin. They're going to give us a round bottom smell that grounds out our synergy. And many of the woods are antispasmodic, not all of them, but many. All right, this aroma, a citrus, a flower, and a wood, it's going to smell beautiful. And look at how easy it is. Happy Magic, bergamot, rose, and sandalwood. Happy Magic, lemon, neroli, cedarwood. Happy Magic, grapefruit, ylang ylang, frankincense. Happy Magic, lime, jasmine, and myrrh. See how simple that was? We have 4 beautiful blends right now, and they were easy to make. And if we want to go really crazy, Happy Magic. Add a spice. We can add black pepper, allspice, clove bud, nutmeg, and that will just add a little rich, fiery aspect to our Happy Magic formula. Okay, where are we at? So, excellent. We have chosen essential oils for our blend. Now what? Now you need to check the safety information on the essential oils you've chosen for your synergy. The primary thing you want to worry about is the potential for skin irritation. We'll make these formulations at a mild 2% concentration, so we don't need to be overly concerned. However, we must check the safety data on all essential oils before we apply them to clients. I've provided you with some quick reference tables to give you a start. It's all in that download. And I actually noticed that I have the wrong picture up here. It's in that green folio titled Primary Methods for Blending Essential Oils. That's where everything will be. All right. We also want to make sure that whatever we formulate in our synergies has a balanced aroma. Don't stress out. We've got this. Let's do it together. Let's first figure out our base synergy for Stress Buster. We know that we want the aroma to smell balanced, so we'll be formulating this base synergy using what we know about aroma intensity. Our essential oils include clary sage, amyris, lavender, and nutmeg. We need to look up the aroma intensity scores of these essential oils in that green download that I sent you to get earlier. When we look up the intensity scores of these essential oils, what we're going to find, is that clary sage is a 2, nutmeg is a 4, lavender is a 5, and amyris is a 9. So we know we need less clary sage and more amyris to make this blend smell balanced. Let's translate the intensity scores to our base synergy. Clary sage is a 2. That means we need 2 drops of clary sage. Amyris is a 9 on the intensity scale. Lavender is a 5 and nutmeg is a 4. So that relates to 2 drops of clary sage, 9 drops of amyris, 5 drops of lavender, and 4 drops of nutmeg in our base synergy. Notice your number of drops mirror the intensity score. That adds up to 20 drops for this particular base synergy. All right, let's do the same thing for immune booster. So we know that we want the aroma to smell balanced. We're going to formulate this base synergy using what we know about aroma intensity. Our essential oils are thyme, sweet marjoram, lemon, tea tree, and bergamot. When we look up their intensity scores, this is what we find. We find that thyme is a 1. We're going to have to work very carefully with this very powerful aroma. Sweet marjoram and tea tree are both 3s, and lemon and bergamot are both 8s. So thyme is a 1 on the intensity scale. That correlates to 1 drop of thyme oil in the blend. Sweet marjoram is a 3, 3 drops. Lemon is an 8, 8 drops. Tea tree is a 3, 3 drops. Bergamot is an 8, 8 drops. That means that we arrive at 24 total drops. Now I want to say something. We've got a very powerful aroma in this blend. We've got thyme. If we blend everything else together, we get that 24 drops of base synergy completed, and we find that the thyme is too heavy. We might have to add more of other essential oils. One of the things that you can do is, if you have a really powerful aroma, leave it until the end of your blend. Get the sweet marjoram, the lemon, the tea tree, and the bergamot all blended perfectly, and then add just 1 drop of thyme. Set your blend aside, give it a little bit of room to rest, come back and smell it. If it needs more time, add another drop, but do that very, very carefully. Anything that's a 1 on that intensity scale can be really tricky to blend. All right, when we do the work for muscle tonic, what we find is that our base formulation is composed of 4 drops of bay laurel, 5 drops of turmeric, 8 of bergamot, and 4 of cypress. Now, we know bay laurel is a 4 on the intensity score. Turmeric is a 5, bergamot's an 8, cypress is a 4. We have completely mirrored those in terms of the drops that we're adding to this base formulation. So I think you're probably getting this at this point. I'm probably beating you over the head with it like I'm sorry, but I just want to make sure that I'm clear. All right, I'm assuming that I'm clear, and we're moving on to Happy Magic. So I picked one of those formulations for our Happy Magic base synergy. I picked frankincense, ylang ylang, grapefruit, and clove bud. And we know frankincense is a 5, that equals 5 drops. Ylang ylang is a 2, that equals 2 drops. Grapefruit is an 8, that's 8 drops. Clove bud is a 4, that's 4 drops. We end up with 19 drops in our base synergy. Oops, but we smell it, and we smell too much clove and not enough grapefruit. Add 2 more drops of grapefruit. So don't forget, this is something that you start with, is these intensity scores, and then you can adjust them based on what you're actually smelling from the bottle. All right, next we need to determine how much base synergy goes into the carrier product. Uh-oh. Remember this chart way back when? So we know we are combining 8 ounces of fixed oil, or 8 ounces of an emollient lotion, with our base synergies. We're going to use a mild 2% concentration because we're going to use this on a variety of clients. When we look at our chart, we want to identify how much carrier product. We know we have 8 ounces, so look up 8 ounces. Now we want a 2% concentration. How many drops do we need in a 2% concentration of 8 ounces? If you guessed 96 drops, correct. If you didn't, I can't help you because I can't make that any clearer than it was. So hopefully you got that. All right. Now, what's going to happen to us is we'll have to multiply our base amounts to have enough product to produce 96 drops of essential oil for 8 ounces of carrier. So we're going to multiply the base for Stress Buster times 5, for Immune Booster times 4, for Muscle Tonic times 5, and for Happy Magic times 6. And the reason why Happy Magic is so high, obviously, is because it only has 19 drops in its base formulation. So we need extra. So that once we do that, that should give us enough for our base, for our 8 ounces of fixed oil or lotion at a 2% concentration. So the multiplication process looks like this when we're dealing with that individual synergy. Remember, Clary Sage is a 2 on the intensity score. In that base formulation, you had just 2 drops. Now we need to times that by 5. That means we end up with 10 drops. Same is true for Amorous. It was 9 drops on that in that base formulation. Now we're going to times the 9 by 5. We end up with 45 drops of Amorous. Don't freak out. That's not too much. And when we times lavender, which was a 5 on the intensity score, times it by 5 because we're doing 5 multiplications of this base formulation to have enough drops for our carrier product. You end up with 25, and nutmeg, you end up with 20. So what you end up with is 100 total drops. Now, I told you we were going to add 96, and we are, but we have 4 extra drops. It's not that big a deal if you just add the 4 extra drops to your carrier product if you want to. So sometimes people get really hung up, oh my gosh, I've gone over the concentration amount. You don't have to worry about it unless you're really going over the concentration amount where you're making the essential oil super strong in the blend. Your clients will be fine. They're going to live through it. All right, well done us, because we're going to repeat that process and create our Immune Booster Massage Lubricant, our Muscle Tonic Massage Lubricant, and our Happy Magic Massage Lubricant. Whew, we did it. We created 4 wellness synergies for our practice. But don't get too excited because we still have to figure out how much is this going to cost. Pure essential oils can be very expensive, and remember, they are worth every dime. In general terms, they vary dramatically in price based on how difficult they are to produce. Let's imagine that you purchase 5 milliliters, and usually essential oils come in milliliters, and I often say ml instead of milliliters to make it easier to say. What you're going to notice is that lemons, seriously inexpensive, use tons of it, but neroli, which comes from orange flower blossom, and rose are extremely expensive. Now, that's because they're also really difficult to produce. Essential oils are usually sold in different amounts. Usually you can purchase oils in 1 ml, 2 ml, 5 ml, and 15 ml sizes. More essential oils come in smaller, more expensive essential oils, come in smaller sizes. Less expensive essential oils come in larger sizes. It's helpful to know that a milliliter equals about 20 drops. Drop sizes, though, can vary based on the thickness or the thinness of the individual essential oil or on the configuration of the dropper top. But at this point, let's not get too worried about that. So about 20 drops equals, about 20 drops equals a milliliter. When I determine the cost of a blend, I usually figure out how much each drop of a particular essential oil will cost me. And then I can times that by how many drops I have in a particular base synergy. While prices can vary batch to batch, right now rose is about $30 per milliliter, so it costs about $1.50 per drop. Neroli is about $23 per milliliter, so it costs me about $1.15 per drop. Myrrh oil is $3 per milliliter. Yeah, so it cost me about 15 cents per drop, and lemon oil is about 53 cents per milliliter, so it cost me only 2 cents per drop. So as you can see, there's a huge amount of variability when you start to figure out the cost of a product. You always want to do a cost analysis on any aromatherapy product you produce for your massage practice to make sure that you can actually make some money on it, or at least not lose too much money. If your blend is full of oils extracted from flowers, you're probably going to break your piggy bank. However, if your blend has more citrus oils, eucalyptus, leafy oils, herby oils, you're likely going to be fine. So I was going to take you step by step through this very complicated math, but when I did that, it took a very long time, and I know I was struggling to get through it, and I was worried that you were going to completely check out from this presentation. So what I did is when I made the handouts, the slide handouts, I added back these slides on the formulas so that you have them from the slide download. And so that allows me to do what you do in cooking shows, where I'm just going to jump forward to the fully cooked meal. The cost for an 8-ounce bottle of each of these blends includes the cost of packaging, so that means the bottle, the carrier product, so that means the fixed oil or the emollient lotion, and the cost of essential oils to produce a 2% concentration. Now, emollient lotions cost more than fixed oils, especially good ones that don't have lanolin or mineral oil or petroleum in them. And that's what I'm expecting you to use, only the good stuff for our clients. So this cost is going to be variable, and it's kind of right in the middle of what it's going to cost you. So it's around this, but not exactly this. Stress Buster came out to $12.65 for 8 ounces. Immune Booster came out to $10.80. Muscle Tonic, $13.65. Now, what's interesting about Muscle Tonic is I could have saved a good $3 if I would have used eucalyptus as opposed to bay laurel. So by having a rather expensive nose and loving the smell of bay laurel, I've cost myself some money. So that's something to remember. Now, Happy Magic, you'll notice, is $13.32. And what's interesting about Happy Magic is that it has a flower oil in it. I used Ylang Ylang as my flower. Ylang Ylang is one of the more cost-effective floral aromas that you can use. If I replaced Ylang Ylang with rose, this blend would cost me more like $33.90. Yep, that's pretty expensive. So rose is pretty hard. It's not one that you'll be blending into your massage formulations very often. You'll be saving it for yourself, hoarding it. Maybe you'll give your mother some for Mother's Day, but that's it. All right. Now let's compare what we just spent, $12, $13, $14, to what we could make if we can upsell our clients to an aromatherapy massage for an additional $12 to $15 per session. You could literally earn between $106 and $139 so long as you don't waste any of your product. So you're going to have to be good with your product. You can't be smothering it all over yourself in between sessions like I do. You've got to just use it for those massages, and you have to be a little bit careful with your lubricant. All right, everyone, we rock. Full marks. We did it. Applause. Well done. Yay. Now I have a little moment of truth. I have never, ever made money on aromatherapy. I am always giving it away to clients who need it. But I don't care. It improves my health when I use it. It grounds me much more completely in the massage that I'm giving and helps me be more present. It also helps me to enjoy giving the massage more, and it makes me feel really connected to nature, even when I'm indoors. So I'm happy about it. Even though I never make money on aromatherapy, I get to share plant stories with my clients, and that means a lot to me. Now, Let's take one quick moment to shift gears. We've discussed wellness synergies and we've talked about making 4 different wellness blends for our clinics. What are we going to do though to get our clients hooked on aromatherapy? Well, often that comes down to home care. So, how do we get people hooked on real aromatherapy? How do we get them excited about real essential oils? The honest truth is, it's pretty hard these days. Many clients have been exposed to products that call themselves aromatherapy but push synthetics. People experience sore throats, headaches, upset stomachs, emotional irritation, and they think this is aromatherapy. Aromatherapy is doing this to me. No, it's not aromatherapy. It's those hideous synthetics. So we have to give our clients really positive experiences with essential oils if we're going to overcome those associations that they make to aromatherapy Glade candles and Febreze or whatever that stuff is called that you spray all over fabrics. I hate that stuff. Yuck. All right. We're going to let that all go for now. And we're going to talk about some aromatherapy home care. One of the things I like to do is give my clients a little dose of aromatherapy. For example, I give them the wake up call remedy. What you do is you create a simple synergy, a combination of eucalyptus and sweet orange essential oils. These are both inexpensive essential oils. You're going to purchase these very little, small 1 milliliter bottles. So it only holds up to 20 drops. You're not even going to put a full 20 drops in that. So about 2 servings. You're going to give them with 13 drops. Your clients have 2, maybe 3 servings if they don't overuse it. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to purchase these really adorable tags, gift tags on the internet or from Amazon or wherever. And on the front, you're going to do a little sticker with your contact details, and you're going to place the directions for the wake up remedy on the back. You'll attach these little cards to the bottles. Now, for the wake up synergy, clients will start their morning shower, but they're going to plug the tub so that the water backs up. They're going to add 4 drops of the wake up synergy to the water in the bottom of the shower. As the steam fills the shower, essential oils are vaporizing along with the steam to be inhaled. This blend is revitalizing. It will help to clear the respiratory system of congestion. It will make the client feel more alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. They start to form a great learned odor response to essential oils. So that's the wake up remedy. That's one method. We can also create bliss mist. So in bliss mist, you'll add 7, that's really hard to say. I really should have named it something different. You'll add 7 drops of mandarin, 2 drops of lavender, and 3 drops of frankincense to a 1-ounce bottle with a fine mist top. You're going to fill the rest of the bottle full of cool distilled water, so water that you've passed through a water filter. Again, you're going to create those cute tags with your contact details on the front and directions on the back. The directions say, in case you can't read it, when you feel stressed or low, mist this aromatherapy blend containing pure essential oils of lavender, mandarin, and frankincense over your head and shoulders, not your face, for a moment of well-earned bliss. This simple gift gets clients interested in aromatherapy and helps you sell aromatherapy massage. Now, I want to say one more thing. As I've said on the little directions, don't spray directly into your face. Lots of clients will do that. You really want them misting high over their head and shoulders, letting the mist sort of settle down over the top of them while they inhale. They don't want to treat themselves like a windshield. This is not windshield wiper cleaner or, glass cleaner. So don't spray directly into your face. You might get it in your eyes and that can sting. Woo-hoo! We've done it. We have made aromatherapy work in our massage practice, and that means that we've arrived at the end of our session today. We've looked at essential oil synergies in terms of basics of aromatherapy, physiological effects, synergies explained, and balancing aromas in a synergy. We've made aromatherapy work in our practice. Now, I want to remind you, the detailed notes are in this folio that I've created, primary methods for blending essential oils. And I've added some pieces to this folio because they're actually in different folios that aren't currently available. So you have everything you need to blend when you download this. Go to plantspiritlife.com, download this folio, and you'll be all set, especially if you also have my slides that are available through the World Massage Conference. All right, we are finished for the day. So go out there, hug a tree, go pick some wildflowers, or simply go for a hike. Get out there in nature. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you found this session useful and that you're excited about adding some aromatherapy to your massage practice. Have a lovely evening. Goodbye.